Hello everybody, it's Mike Paterson from White Turtle Adventures. Welcome back to the van. Well, I've been going through these little short hints and suggestions on what to do should you decide that you want to build a van or a motorhome or a school bus or an ambulance or a mini home or an off-grid home or whatever, to give you some ideas that I've learned over the years. So my next one that I want to talk about a little bit more is water. I alluded to this in my last video, in that my water system for this van is very simple. I have a sink, I have a freshwater tank, and I have a wastewater tank. That is the extent of my water for this vehicle. My toilet is a porta potty. It's what you use on sailboats, it's what you use in other RVs, and it has the built-in tank on it where you can put water, and when you want to use it, you pump it up to get some pressure, and then you have a button on it that flushes for you. It works great. Why didn't I go with a more extensive water system? Well, first of all, it's not because I don't like them. I had a truck camper with a pretty good water system in it. It had the bathroom, it had hot and cold running water, it had a flush toilet, it had a sink with hot and cold running water. It was great. It had the water tank. It was really good. The issue with the truck camper was that my tanks were quite small, so you couldn't do much more than a few days in it with a couple people, or maybe a week with one person if you were conservative with the water, but that was about it. When I bought my motorhome, it had a very nice water system in it. It had an electric ignition hot water tank, so you could turn it on from inside the vehicle. It would run at night just like a hot water tank in your house does. If you wanted to shut it off, you just hit the button and you could shut it off, or it would keep your hot water all night. It also had full hookups for hooking up to city water. So you could hook up to city water and hook up to the city sewer system. So if you're at a campground, you could turn on water and you could use it just like you're at home. You could hop in the shower and have a 10-minute shower. It was great. The only issue limiting that was the hot water tank capacity. It was a small hot water tank, but if you did it well and you didn't waste water, that tank could keep up all day long for one person or two people. So it was great. You would get up in the morning, you want to wash your face, turn on the hot water, wash your face. If you wanted to run cold water, you could run cold water. The issue that I had is that where I live in southern Alberta and where I use my van in the mountains, it gets pretty cold. And even with an insulated vehicle, there are issues. The biggest issue with a vehicle with a full water system is if you live somewhere where it gets extremely cold, it's to be able to dump your tanks in the wintertime. To find a place is difficult. That's the first thing. The second thing is your valves and your water system is exposed to the cold. No matter what vehicle you get, no matter if it's made for cold weather, somehow the water has to leave the vehicle, so it's exposed to the cold. So if you're going to go with a water system, you're going to have to consider it very thoroughly before you make that decision. Because if you're going to live in it 365 and you're going to live in it where it's really cold, you're going to need to make the decision whether you want full water system, if you have a place to dump it, or if you're just going to want to get by. Now for me, it's not a big deal. I bought myself a jet boil. It's a small unit that will boil water in 60 seconds. So if I want to get up in the morning and I want hot water to wash my face, I can put water in there, hit the button, 60 seconds later I can pour it in the sink, mix it with some cold water, get the exact temperature I want, and I'm fine. When I want to winterize my van, I just take the stuff out and I'm done. For the bathroom, you can have several different options without water, such as a composting toilet. But the issue with a composting toilet that I've been told by many people is that they don't function well in the cold, because once they get frozen, that's it. You can get other types of toilet systems, cassette toilet systems, that they work well. But again, you have to understand with a cassette, you're taking that out, just like with my porta potty, and you need to dump it somewhere. If that makes you squeamish, if you're not big on that, then maybe you're going to want to lean towards a full water system where you can just hook up to a sewer hose, pull a valve, walk away, and it'll flush itself, and you're done. If you think it's squeamish to do that with a toilet, well, then you may want to consider that way. There's other things. There's things called luggable loos. They're a bucket with a lid on it. You use the bucket with the lid on it, you put some sawdust in there or some different stuff in there to absorb the moisture, and you live with it. And you dump it whenever you want to dump it, and you've got it. I know a number of people that carry those for emergencies. They're wonderful. In fact, one day I was at a campground, and just beside the campground was a popular fishing area, and a vehicle pulled up, and the people got out, and I heard them say, "Just a minute, it'll take me about 5 minutes, just wait." And the father got out, and he pulled up a tent, and then inside the tent he put a bucket, and there was a lid on the bucket. And the boy got out of the car and went into this little tent and did his business. And when it was done, the dad folded everything up, put the lid back on the bucket so it locked in, and they had their own bathroom there. So you're going to have to consider which way you want to go for your bathroom. For me, I have my bathroom on board. I use, whether I'm not close to another bathroom or if the weather's not nice outside, I have it to use. If I'm somewhere with nice toilets, I'll use the toilets. It saves me dumping. Likewise with water. Even though I have water in the sink, if it's a nice day like it is today, it's 26 degrees right now outside, I'll actually take my water and stuff outside, and I'll do my dishes outside. I'll boil water to do my dishes. I'll dump the water at the local porta potty if there's a porta potty here, or I'll bring it back and pour it into my tanks, or whatever I have to do. But a lot of times I don't use my water system in my vehicle. So that's what you're going to have to figure out. If you're going with a bigger unit, I would strongly suggest sitting back and considering where you're going to put this stuff and how much weight it's going to take. Because even though you think that your unit is a massive bus, or your unit's an ambulance, or even a larger van than this one, you may find that all that extra weight and the water and such that you're carrying and the waste that you're carrying may be putting you over some limits. So sit down, do your research first, and then make your decision from there. Again, if you need to, go to an RV supply place and ask what they have for toilets. Ask what they have for porta potties. Ask what they have for different systems and see it. If you don't like it, don't buy it because you won't use it. So have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Get out there and enjoy life and enjoy whatever vehicle or however you go out and enjoy the outdoors.